with Diablo 4 beta coming here in only a few days, you might be interested in exactly how is the progression going to work when it comes to your character and leveling up inside of Diablo 4. And well, we have got a lot of information as far as how this is going to operate, as far as actually seeing the skill tree that will be involved in the leveling process. So today we're going to go over everything you need to know about progression and leveling inside of Diablo 4, so you can be ready for the beta as well as the release of the full version later on this year. But before we hop into it, welcome back to your #1 top for Diablo 4 gameplay, how-to, news, and everything else, and of course, all that jazz. And of course, I do want to give a giant thank you to everybody that is supporting over on patreon.com/Maconn, and also a very big thank you to a court 1K who is supporting at the Luna Teal. Thank you, my dude. And with that, let's talk progression. So to start off, we have seen the progression skill tree pretty much evolve a lot over the original time we saw the announcement, and leading into the beta, we now have a very similar flow chart that you might have seen in other games, and as well as Path of Exile, that will be a lot more freedom for your character and how you want your character to progress. And with that come the leveling. So as of now, every time you level from level 1 to 50, you're going to be able to get your hands on one skill point to be used in multiple abilities and passives to get your character up to where you want now. That being said, using Path of Exile as an example here, if you find that progression system confusing or just a lot to it, Diablo seems to be leaning a little more to being more simple and more straightforward, but with the depth you might see from Path of Exile. But you might be wondering, what do you do after hitting level 50? Because your character is not quite done from there. And of course the answer is the Renown system. Since as you progress through this, I get quote unquote like in-game for say leveling, you will continue to get your hands on a skill point for your character, which we will go a little bit more into that in a moment. But back to the tree itself, of course the tree system is going to branch out, I guess in the case of a tree, like a tree, branch out into multiple ways and multiple connecting area that is going to require you to, of course, level up a previous ability connected to the branch. And as well as that, like once hitting a certain milestone, might it be like a level 3 in a certain ability as an example, you then can unlock like a variant version that will split off, that will give you any more choices as the tree fan farther and farther out. But let's go ahead and break down what each of these symbol on the skill tree is directly. So, you will notice a few things from shapes in the tree, and as for what they mean, if you have a square block as of now, them all called will be abilities that you can go ahead and put on your taskbar and actually use in the heat of combat. And then we had round nodes on the tree, and these will be a core upgrade for the ability you just unlocked. To add a distant variant to it, like as an example here, being like you unlock a, say, slam attack with like an axe or something, and if you unlock the net node, that means you will then be able to do a slam attack that will have like an AoE or cap fire or do some type of static effect. So you can actually unlock ability and then modify said ability to your liking and as well as your playstyle for Diablo. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about what will happen if you want to change your style or you unlock ability that just not fit in your needs here. And of course, we will have a system in place for respecing, but there was some catches. So of course, to start off here, there will be an option to get your guild point back, but to start off, you will have to pay a gold, which is the in-game currency, to actually respec. We will see if this will translate into, the actual microtransaction or not. But for the time being, it mainly only for in-game economy itself. And of course, as you level up more and more, that will start getting more and more expensive. And Blizzard have talked about in passing about how later on in game it might just be better to make multiple characters or to just start fresh instead of spending your money on your account. So it looked like for anyone that might be curious about having multiple characters in this might be a very big draw beyond just playing this in style. For that, especially if you are trying to build, say, a fire warrior and an ice warrior or anything else in between, for certain contents that we do know with it leaning more into multiplayer and more into the MMO side, that there might be reason to actually have multiple characters set up in this type to do certain activity, especially if the item and the currency is actually shelled or have a way to shell. So this is something to keep in mind. If you do screw up, you can change it. It's just going to cost you a little bit of in-game gold. But respecing is not going to be your only way of actually fixing your character if you screw up, because there is also a sample that you're going to be able to get your hands on with +1 weapon and armor that will also have abilities and stats on them that you would also unlock from the skill tree. So this will give you a great opportunity if you come across any of the equipment to try out ability before you decide to commit to it and you move away from the weapon to something else, but you want to keep the ability. This might be an option for you. So this is really good, but once again, it's going to come down to how good the drop rate is of all the items. But nonetheless, it's good to see there is some type of way to test out the ability before committing to it. But speaking of making multiple characters here, let's go ahead and talk about the altar of Lilith. So these are going to be statues that are going to be scattered across the environment. We know of like one area having 25, other area will probably have more or less. Think of them as pretty much the collectible that you will find hidden around as you are exploring, and you very much want to look for these, because unlike other collectibles that is just nothing more of achievement or a checklist, these actually affect your stats. So for finding these, you can go ahead and get you a +2 to strength, +2 to intelligence, +2 to willpower, +2 to dexterity, and +8 to HP. And the thing of interest here, this actually will unlock the stats on all characters on your account. So if you are making multiple arts or multiple types of character like we talked about, this is a great way to get the character started off on a higher plane of skills, and will allow you to move to the stuff you have already done a lot faster, as well as helping out your main. So this is a nice little thing to add to help with playing multiple characters, so you don't feel underpowered at all times when you start them up. But there is of course a catch to these, since these do unlock ability on your whole account. If you make a new character, you cannot go and claim the same one over and over again. This is only one per account. The ones you have found, whichever altar, it officially been counted on your account moving forward. So you can't stack these in a way of finding the same one over and over again. They are a one-time discovery per account. So with Lilith taken care of and the skill tree, let's go ahead and finally get to talking about Renown. This is of course once again the new +50 activity that will be a whole leveling system among itself that will level up as you are playing the game, as you are doing dungeon, finding the statues, taking part in stronghold. Pretty much by playing the game itself, this will be a separate level that once you hit certain milestone, you will unlock some gold, you can unlock some extra guild points, you can unlock some affiliates and whatnot that will then affect pretty much all your character as well. Very similar to the auto Lilith, but with this, you can go ahead and get you any more guild points. And not only will you be getting the affiliates, the potions, and the guild point itself, you will also unlock Paragon points. So let's go ahead and discuss what exactly this is. The Paragon point itself is another in-game activity here or progression for in-game. Once again, it will unlock at level 50. And like I talked about, you will get points with the whole Renown system. And how this is going to work is very similar. I get the best way to describe it would be very similar to like Final Fantasy 12. What was that? I think it was job board or whatever we call it. Let me know in the comment. I don't remember. It's been forever. But either way, the whole like board with random placements that you can go ahead and unlock with the points. But before we go into that in and out of that, of course, there will be a maze type of thing with, of course, on either side of the board will be a gate. So pretty much how this is going to work is as you walk your way from one side of the board to the other, you will then hit one of the gates, of which in return will give you an option to then move into a whole new board or to continue leveling the Paragon board you are already on. And as far of what you will actually be unlocking on the Paragon board, of course, this is any more character customization for you that will unlock different stats to boost your ability, as well as give you any more stuff to design your character in whatever way you want to do it, as well as something to do as you are walking through the Paragon board to keep unlocking more and more power and play style for your character. So this is a fantastic sense of progression and hopefully a in-game activity that will really make it worth doing to get your character exactly like you want it and have the freedom to do so, which from the way it looks like that is indeed going to be the case here. So the Paragon points are not unlimited. So with that means we are going to have a set amount, and of course every level up at 50 we will get our hands on 4 of the points with a grand total of 200 points that you're going to be able to unlock before you officially run out. But with that being said though, this is just the statement right now. This is something that could change, could evolve over time, especially as more and more feedback get given, and then not even counting like future updates as well. But for the time being, 200 seem to be the cap, and we will see if that stays away once we get fully into launch. But it's still something to keep in mind for the progression system. So with that all said, let's go ahead and talk about exactly what's going to be on the boards beyond just normal stats upgrade. So to start off here, we have 4 different titles total. We have a called common, which these are the round tiles that will go ahead and give you the strength bonuses, your intelligence, the normal like that we have talked about. We have magic tile, which will be mainly in groups that will then boost magic defense, magic potency, pretty much anything tied to magic itself. Then we will have well titles that these are indeed well, because there are only going to be 6 of these per board, and these will of course give you the most upgrade heal. So once you hit like certain stats, so let's say you have like 15 in like strength, and if you have a well tile that require you to have elite 15, if you unlock it, you then will get all the bonuses that are tied to this, such as any more, damage, intelligence, as well as other giant boots that will be added to your character. But once again, is only 6 per tile, and will have requirement to unlock it beyond the Paragon point itself. And then we have legendaries, and these are abilities that will pretty much boost your ability. abilities. And then we turn like one of the example being, while you feel it above 50%, you will deal 30% more damage as a example here of what these are going to be. And once again, this is only one per board. So the Paragon board just do not end there. Of course, our next thing we have here is grips. So these are items that are consumable that you will find as you are playing through the game or doing certain activity that you will then consume. And once they consume, you can go ahead and attach these onto your Paragon board, which will do extra bonuses to surrounding tiles. And the other thing about the grips is they are not just what they are. Not only will you get the bonuses for putting them down on the tile, but you can also level them up as well to enhance the surrounding tile any more so. And beyond reach, you can also level these up to give any more bonuses to your character, so you can put this in an area that is more to your liking and get any more powerful. So as you can see, there is a lot to the Paragon board between all these systems that will hopefully keep a lot of players busy as far as in-game when it comes to character progression. But with that, one last little detail about the Paragon board is, of course, these are not overall not going to be static either. These will be changing over time. New ones will be added, which, let's be honest, probably how they're going to end up working is we will have a set amount at launch, and every season we will probably get upgrade more than likely. But Blizzard did state that there will be more of the board for different play style and customization coming down the line. So do not worry. Any of you see some of them that might be very similar or the same one over and over, there will be more added over the lifespan of Diablo 4. Last bit here is tied to war tendencies, and this is something that some of you might be asking about, mainly because how previous Diablo game worked was, of course, the farther and farther in you get from like easy to normal to hard, item drop would change, higher level stuff will start dropping, and so on. But with Diablo 4, like I said, leaning more into the MMO side, you might be wondering, how is it going to exactly work in a full-on live service MMO type of game? And the answer is, we're going to have a tier system. So in return, as you are walking through a environment, you will be given an option to, of course, upgrade that area to make it any more harder, which then will equal higher drop rates and higher items that you will be getting. So in return, this will give you a replay value when it comes to certain zones in the game, going from easy all the way up to the hardest setting, where you constantly will be getting nuked up any from areas you have done before just by changing the difficult setting. So as announced, seemed to be very similar to the way that it worked in Dark Souls 2, and I'm honestly okay with it. This seemed like a nice middle ground as far like how to keep the item progression dropping at far distant difficult setting inside of the game itself. And of course, with that, that is everything we know at the moment when it comes to the progression system, and as well as how they're going to work not only on your main, but also other characters you create as well. So hopefully this has been helpful, and let me know below in the comment, how exactly you feeling about this? Are you okay with the changes to progression as we lean into the Diablo 4 beta? Or do you think some of this stuff need to go? Or do you think it's going to really just change a crap ton as we get closer and closer to the official release? With that, that's going to go ahead and do it for me for today. I will be back tomorrow with any more Diablo video as we are counting down to the release of the beta. And with that, I will go ahead and see you in the comments.